right, hello. We are on video 13. It is still October 3rd. We are still
on our way.
on our way. However, we are about 15 minutes out. So I did chop up Lisa's story a little bit on purpose. One, to keep the first video at a manageable length, but then also we could at least maybe wrap up this experience, if we do, in the next 15 minutes. So very quickly, as always, these are the opinions, thoughts, and experiences of a single person who is also working with family members and a few friends in her own paranormal investigations. It's not a precise anything, it is experiences. And so we do encourage those who are watching / subscribing to comment, question. At some point we will have a video addressing comments and questions. But for now, as we get going, we are just kind of delving into Lisa's own experiences and thoughts. We left off the last video with her retelling us the story of her own first, quote, investigation, before maybe paranormal investigation was even a word in her brain. She was researching urban decay on her own in buildings. She found herself in a mental institution. She gained access because of her own ability to gain access to buildings that are abandoned, because she works in demo and restoration, and she was able to enter an abandoned building in the middle of the day, which is a huge thing, I think. But it was the first time she'd ever done this, and so she was on her own, which she highly does suggest not to do. Yeah,
Let's not do that.
and of course, because this was the late 80s, early 90s, technology was not what it is today. So she was equipped with a video camera, some flashlights, and here she is in the building. So go ahead. The security guard just left, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the last video.
Yeah. So I go back up to the hallway that I figured from reading the signs that were still on the wall that were patients' rooms. And it's a long, hospital. Long hallway. Lots of doors on either side. Dimly lit, even though it was midsummer, broad daylight, because there were no interior windows in this hallway. Exterior windows, interior windows. All the windows were in the rooms with doors and walls.
Like a normal hospital.
Like a little normal hospital. No power, so the fluorescent lighting wasn't on. So I set up my tripod and camera, and I, check out the shot. Nice view down the hallway. And I figure I'm going to meander down the hallway and talk to whatever may be hanging around in this thing. Yeah. So I do the typical stupid thing. I break out my recorder, my handy dandy digital recorder, and start asking questions. So of course, the first thing you learn watching all these shows is you say, "Is there anyone here that would like to talk to me?" And then you're supposed to pause 10-15 seconds to give it time to answer. Okay.
Maybe don't do that.
No, you're supposed to do that.
Okay.
So then I'm walking along the hallway. Noise is being made by my feet. My own footsteps are being recorded. I'm not really speaking. So I did forget to mention that I brought my notes on the building that I had printed out off of my computer about the history of this hospital and some of its patients. So I'm reading along as I'm recording myself, both audio and video. So I'm like, So, tell me why you're here. Why are you still here? You know, what is your name? How did you die? Why did you die? All the things I need to know. You know, are you a
good ghost or a bad ghost?
Right. Are you a faculty member? Are you a nurse? Are you a doctor? Are you a patient? Are you male? Are you female? I'm just doing the Rolodex of questions here. And then, you know, I'm talking to myself in the video. So I'm like I have a captive audience, you know. Now I'm going to take time to just sit here and listen. Okay. So I document this on, because I had seen this done, on my little handy dandy recorder. The time is now such and such. I'm in the east hallway, main building of this, you know, asylum, solo investigation, EVP, take one. Yeah, lay it down. So then I'm fidgeting, I'm moving around, shuffling my feet, not realizing it because I'm being still in the moment.
What's an EVP?
An EVP is an electronic voice phenomenon.
Okay. So you were just recording what you were hoping to.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Because if you just run a tape recorder,
right,
or a recording, I say tape recorder, and a lot of people are going to go like, "What the hell is a tape recorder?"
I know.
If you run an audio recording of any kind in any room with nothing in it, it records what is known as white noise, which is that staticky noise of the air current and energy current in the room.
Yeah.
So it is theorized that a spirit or an entity can collect the energy in that area and respond on a recording. But a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, you in the physical realm can't hear it live. But if you go back later and replay that,
it's like disrupted the recording.
Yeah, it's a disruption in the recording, and sometimes you can pick up words.
Okay, so sorry to interrupt, but
That's okay.
You used a phrase.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm doing all the things you shouldn't do. Shifting, moving, reading, you know, so I give it a little bit of span of time, 10, 15 minutes. And I'm like, okay, now let's go back and check this. So then I'm trying to sit there and listen to this. And of course, all I hear is from all my movements. So let's move on. So I go get my handy dandy. I'm like Dora the fucking Explorer. My handy dandy tripod. And I go along. Let's check out this area. I believe this was once the room of Todd Biggerman or whatever. And that's a made up name, by the way. If there is a Todd Biggerman watching, I apologize, it wasn't you. You know, and he was put in here by his parents because he was a juvenile delinquent. And blasey. Do I actually know this was this person's room? Hell no. I was making it up for my own entertainment purposes and the purposes for the entertainment of my friends. Look at the stupid shit I do when I'm alone. You know, so I sat in that room for a while, did the same thing, asked some questions, whatever. So, kind of, you know, wrapped up my investigation that day, did that in various buildings throughout, packed up my gear, rolled out as we were losing daylight, you know, as the sun was setting. It was getting darker and harder to navigate around those buildings. So, go home, chuck everything into the corner, go back to normal life. And tomorrow I have to work. So, normal life takes over for a while, and I kind of forget about it. So a couple weeks later, we're chatting with my mom, me and my sister, and my partner at the time. We're sitting around bullshitting. And my mom was like, so did you ever go back to the haunted hospital? And of course, my sister's ears go, bing! And she's like, haunted hospital, do tell. So I tell her about it, and she's like, oh, that sounds cool. That sounds creepy. I want to go. Okay. So then we pull in my other sister. Not always a good idea. Oh, we pulled her in anyway because she's very good comic relief. All right. Silly Pennsylvania drivers. I stop at a stop sign and they don't want to go. So she's one of those, my older of the two sisters. She's one of those ones who want to do it all right now. Has no patience to wait. So if you take her on a paranormal investigation, she's like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so. What's your name? How old are you? Are you male or female? How did you die? Were you friendly? Are you friendly? Are you evil? Let's go. This is stupid. Nobody's answering. Let's go." That's her experience. And then she takes a nap. My other sister, on the other hand, who was closer to me in age, we're pretty much on the same wavelength. And actually, her and I took classes. I didn't forget about this. We took classes in the paranormal together to try to get a better understanding of the terminology and the things. It was pretty cool. But what was funny about the classes is that we took, of course, like Terry said, this is not a credited course because it's theory. It's no way to really prove it. It's whatever. So it's basically, we paid this dude to take his class on his ghost hunting abilities and how to do this, that, and the third. Well, 2 to 3 classes in, come to find out, me and my sister knew more about it than he did. And he started questioning us. And I'm like, dude, we're paying you to do this. So, yeah. But we did take the course. It was kind of fun. We met some other people that were interested in it. And we also joined another group of people who, through those people, we gained access to other so-called haunted locations and were able to do actual investigations. And that's how we built our team. Back to the original story. So I told my sister about it, and she was like, "Well, what did you do? Did you take pictures? Did you get recording? Did you see anything? Did you hear anything?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Because you didn't look at it.
Yeah, she's like, "What do you mean you don't know?" And I'm like, "Well, I took pictures. I was running recordings. I was doing EVPs." And she's like, "What did you find?" And I'm like, "I don't know." She's like, "Did you watch the recording?" And I'm like, "No." "Did you listen to the recording?" "No."
Yeah.
"Have you went through the pictures?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "What the hell did you go for?" And I'm like, "Just to see what it was like." And it was, it's cool. It's different. I enjoyed it. And she's like, "But is there reason to go back? Should I go back, with you? Should we look at this together? Let's look at what you found." And I'm like, "I probably didn't get anything. I don't know what I'm doing." Whatever.
All right, well, before we get into what you did or did not get, we are finally almost done driving for the moment.
Yes.
So it's a short video. But it leads into the next one. So we will end this for now, and we will be back on our drive home. And we'll talk to you all later. All right, bye.